Yes, folks, hello, welcome once again to Mod Extra Games and Collectibles. It's time for another action figure review here on the channel. And as you can see on the screen before you, today's installment is going to be taking a closer look at the Marvel Legends Iron Fist and Luke Cage double pack. So stick around, I'm going to give you all the ins and outs, ups and downs that you need to know. So if you've been thinking about picking up this 2-pack for yourself, you can make a decision as to whether it's the right set for you to drop your cash on. Going to talk you through the peg presents, the box experience, then going to have a little bit of chat about the aesthetic of the figures, then talk you through the articulation, and then finally take a nice walk through the accessories and added value to speak about how much I've been enjoying that or not. Let's find out. So let's get into it. Let's jump back in time and let's visit past Chris as he takes a look at the packaging for the very first time when Iron Fist and Luke Cage arrived on my doorstep. All right, enjoy. Here we go then. Here is Iron Fist and Luke Cage in the box. I'll just do a quick rundown of the packaging and the general, peg presence of the set as a whole. So we've got windowed front on the box here, showing off both the figures and all the goodies and various added extras in there. Take a quick look at that, folks, then pause the video and Google the Rogue and Destiny 2-pack. Have a look at that and then come back. You'll appreciate this one all the more. And obviously then finish the video. It's part of the 85-year celebration, so it's noted up at the bottom there. Otherwise, it's all the usual gubbins and malarkey. Then on the back, we've got a couple of pieces of artwork here. We've got Iron Fist here on the left and Luke Cage here on the right. Legal bollocks and malarkey across the bottom. I recognise this piece of Iron Fist artwork, actually. This is the cover of issue 1 of Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon, written by my man Larry Hammer, of course. So, awesome piece of artwork there. I don't recognise this Luke Cage, but I suspect that's probably a piece of cover artwork as well. That artwork is then repeated on the side of the box here, and that's about it. What's on the bottom? More legal bollocks and malarkey. Okay, folks, well, I'm going to go and take this away now, crack it open off screen, and get some good hands-on man-child playtime in with the figures. Give it a couple of days of getting some good playtime in so that I can come back with some solid, experienced review thoughts there. So stick around, because Future Chris is going to be with you in 3, 2, 1... Okay, folks, well, let's get started with the review sections of the video now then. Let's talk about the aesthetic of the figures. I'm going to begin by taking a closer look at the visual experience of Luke Cage from the set here. Got him on screen now, just a full head-to-toe look at the figure for you to enjoy. This is how he came out the packaging, with the open palm hand and the closed fist hand on the left-hand side there. But yeah, very striking figure. He's obviously got that big bulk that you would expect from Power Man stroke Luke Cage. He's obviously in his casual clothing that we've become much more accustomed to seeing him in since the kind of early noughties and the kind of Brian Michael Bendis reinvention of the Luke Cage character there. So he's wearing jeans, some comfortable boots. He's got the t-shirt on, obviously gone with the yellow and blue colour scheme as well, which is the iconic colour combo for Luke Cage there. So that's all lovely jubbly and very nice to see. Great head sculpt on the figure. Got the nice shiny bald head there that he's known for. The lovely little goatee. Excellent facial features, sculpted facial features in there. So all very well defined. The cheeks, the chin, the lips, the nose, etc., etc. Paint applications very neatly applied across the goatee, the eyebrows and the eyes. It's got a very intense kind of, I'm about to give you a thump kind of look about him, which I enjoy a great deal. Not quite fully Marvel Legends vanilla. There's a little bit of something going on in there. So that's very nice. Well sculpted around the ears there. So yeah, wonderful head sculpt on this. Very enjoyable. Moving further down into the figure, you can see the t-shirt is pulled nice and tight over that extremely swole and muscular body there. But there's some lovely texture details in here. So you can see these kind of stretchy, foldy bits, creases in the t-shirt. Got some nice creases up here on the sleeves as well, giving it some depth, giving it some texture. Always a big fan of that. And then if you look down into the arms as well, you can see all the sculpted musculature detail, as well as these like massive veins poking out in his biceps and across his arms and stuff, just really communicating that enormously big, powerful look and feel of the character. Got the signature Cage belt buckle as well, along with a nice leathery texture to the belt. All really well applied paint applications there. Nice splash of colour, lovely touch of detail. And then moving down into the jeans, again, you can see that they've made efforts to give it that kind of denim-y textured detail and give it all the various kind of creases and textural kind of details to bring it to life. You can see there like the seams and stuff down the side and the creases here where it bunches up around his knees and around the ankles. That's really lovely. We've got the full four-fingered bar ring there across the knuckles. On the left hand, you can see sculpted in the cage detail there. When I show you the hand swap later, I'll show you the right hand, which also has sculpted the name Luke in it, which is, again, another nice, lovely touch. One omission, he doesn't have the big wrist bracelets. I remember... maybe wrongly, but around the time of the New Avengers, perhaps, or the Mighty Avengers, or the Awesome Avengers, or God knows, one of the Avengers titles I was reading in about 2010-ish, he had big silver bracelets on his wrists, but maybe I've misremembered that. Let me know in the comments down below, or perhaps that was just one particular artist interpretation. But nonetheless, lovely bit of bling there on Luke Cage. So overall, Luke gets a thumbs up from me on the aesthetics then. Just good, classic 2000s onwards Luke Cage, rock solid figure, absolutely. But what I particularly enjoy is the finer details. Sometimes these finer details are absent in Marvel Legends, but they're not absent here. But now let's see whether the Iron Fist holds up against it and makes it a good solid set. So here's the Danny Rand as he came out the box, and again, a lovely looking figure just to take in from the head to toe kind of experience there. Colour scheme's good, the greens and the yellows are very lively, very comic booky, really pop, give him a nice bit of shelf presence, which is lovely to see. It's a good classic Iron Fist costume as well, one that you would classically associate with the Danny Rand Iron Fist outfit. Even though half his head is covered, you can still see that it's a really great head sculpt there. So the lower half of the face below the mask line, nice defined features, well sculpted. And he's got that kind of locked jaw grimace there, which is really lovely to see. Just ready to get into a rumble with, Shao Lao or whatever. But that's really nice to see. And then you've got the paint applications across the eyes there with the black spike marks over the eyes and then the white eyeballs painted in, which is really lovely. And then if I spin him around, you can see the nice details there where the mask is pulled tight across the back of his head and you've got these kind of stretch marks in there. And then the knot and the tassels hanging down the back. Lovely little detail. The collar is a firm plastic, so it maintains its shape. A blessing and a curse, obviously, because it maintains the shape, which keeps that sort of dynamic, huge 70s collar thing nice and firm and active there with the yellow on the inside. But the absence of flexibility makes it a little bit difficult in some of the poses you're trying to do, especially with the way these tassels hang around at the back of the head. But I'll talk about that a little bit more when I come to articulation. But you can see the nice sculpted muscular detail into the body. He's got the tattoo paint application here on his chest, the mark of Shu Lao, I think it's pronounced. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm way off the mark on that. It's not quite as textured as Luke Cage's, so you don't quite feel the same amount of kind of fabric texture in the uniform, but the paint applications are well applied, and it is like a Lycra bodysuit pulled real tight over his muscles, so it's a little bit more forgivable. Got the belt here across the middle, the little kind of sash belt thing. Again, you can see the sculpted details in there, the kind of contours and creases as it's pulled tight across his chest, and the sculpted detail in the knot and in the tassels that hang down, which is nice. Again, this is a firm piece of plastic, so it's a little bit inflexible and only kind of hangs in one particular way. And there's very little movement on that as well if you want to manipulate it in any way. But it looks good on the eye, which is what we're talking about at this section here. And then you can see down as you get to the legs, the thigh cut, not the thigh cut, sorry, the boot cut is put in there at the top, halfway down the calf, where his little 3/4 length ninja suit, kung fu suit ends, and they got the skin color there with the little yellow kind of karate shoe slippery things, which is nice to see, and that gives it a little bit more definition there at that point. Although the same effect here up on the arms is not quite the case because that's obviously just painted and the paint just ends there. And not a great deal else to say, really. It's just a good, solid, classic look Iron Fist. A great Heroes for Hire 2 set here. So another thumbs up from the aesthetic experience. Like the colours, like the sculpts. The only thing is, it's just a little bit more Marvel Legendsy with the kind of more heavily relying on painted on stuff rather than sculpted on stuff. But it's still there. It's still evident. You can sort of see it down here where the shirt drapes open and shows off his abs, So, overall, a good, solid looking set. 2 thumbs up. Let's now take a closer look at the articulation, shall we? Okay, folks, I'm going to start the articulation section with Iron Fist here. If you're less interested in the articulation, then I have put chapter marks in, so jump on ahead to the accessories and added value section if you don't want to take a look. But if you are interested, then stick around. So I'm going to start at the top of the figure here with the head, and it's the ball joint in the base of the skull. Gives you decent down, decent-ish up. This is where the tassels and the collar get in the way the tassel hangs over the back there. Stops you from getting a good... too good and up. Also, there's no hinge in the neck, which you sometimes get with Marvel Legends there. But you can turn him to the left and turn him to the right, and you've got a little bit of tilt in there, so it's not too bad. Moving down to the shoulders, you've got the butterfly joint, you've got the peg, and then you've got the hinge in there, so you can shuffle back and forward. Very good range of motion there, look. You can go all the way round, and then you can hinge up, like so. Got a swivel there at the top of the bicep and tricep. Pinless double elbows that will get you up to there. And then pegged in hands that can swivel all the way around, and they've all got forward and back hinges, like so. Down into the body, Iron Fist is a little bit unique in Marvel Legends because he's got this barbell joint in here. So you've got the ball in the base of the torso, giving you a really good swivel and twist motion in there. But then he's also got a little bit of ab crunch. An ab crunch joint in here, which will allow you to bend him forward. There's no waist swivel, though. No waist swivel on the figure. Moving down into the groin, it's the standard, ball joint in the groin there. It's not drop down, although he is a bit gappy in here. I don't know if you can see, my legs are hanging a little bit low, leaving this ugly gap in there. But this will allow you decent forward. And then you got the ballerina T shape there, but you can see how the bar across the middle is a bit misaligned on that. You see there? And okay back, but it's obviously blocked by the curve of the arse there. Got a swivel at the top of the thigh. Pinless double knees that get you up to there. A boot cut, calf cut there, which will allow you some swivel. Then in the feet, you've got the hinge. You've got the rocker. And we've got toe curl on Iron Fist as well. So it's a fun articulation scheme on Iron Fist. I think it's built off a Spider-Man book, maybe, but I don't collect any Spider-Man Marvel Legends. So if you're more familiar with Spider-Man, then let me know whether I've got that right or not. One thing I will say, and I'm going to mention this for both figures, the joints are very, very loose. Very loose indeed. At the beginning, it was a nice out-the-box experience, very silky, but after a few days play, they've just become really floppy and a little bit difficult to manipulate, a bit too loose. So that may well just be mine, though, the one I got from my batch. Your experience may differ there. But yeah, Iron Fist is fun, interesting. I like the barbell joint across the torso there. The criticism of the head is based on the costume design. It's not the articulation's fault. Not so sure about the toe curl. I don't know if it's adding anything in particular there. The surface area of the toes makes it it's a little bit too small to make it really effective for like nice little standing poses and positions. But it's a nice touch nonetheless. And as you can see, I've got him in this kind of leaping into action, kind of ready to throw a punch kind of pose. So yeah, I think it's a thumbs up. It's a fun articulation scheme and something a little bit different in Marvel Legends, which I enjoyed. Right, let's take a look at Luke Cage quickly then. Much more traditional Marvel Legends articulation scheme on Luke Cage. I'm going to get started on the head then. So ball in the base of the skull gives you all the way around, fairly decent down, fairly decent up, and a little bit of tilty action in there. Again, no swivel on, no hinge on the neck, which is again blessing and a curse because it's less articulation, but it's a more seamless kind of visual experience there. Moving down into the body and the shoulders, got the butterfly joint. Again, nice big range of motion there. Got the hinge and got the peg, giving you the full 360 swivel and the T-shape. Got the swivel at the top of the bicep and tricep. Pinless double elbow that'll get you up to there. And again, the pegged in hands, which will give you the swivel all the way around. And they've all got the forward and back hinge on them. Got the more classic ab crunch shape here in on Luke Cage, gives you a really good range of motion forward and a really good range of motion backwards. Not always the biggest fan of these, but with the t-shirt it's kind of fine because you're not breaking up the colours, or there's no pattern in there to break up. Got the sheer cut waist swivel. Definitely not a big fan of those. I would much prefer a ball joint down there, but it is what it is. That's how Marvel Legends do things. But if you've got him fully swiveled, you can see you've got this like little ugly lip here. Standard bar and ball there in the groin, giving you okay forward, actually. It's a bit squiffy look there. There's that looseness I was mentioning as well in the joints. Can you see that? You can do a pretty decent Russian ballerina, though. Swivel at the top of the thigh. Pinless double knee, that'll get you to there. No boot cut, but there is swivel under the lower part of the trouser leg there, where around the ankle, where it meets the shoe. And then the classic hinge and rocker in the feet. So the articulation is good. It's a fun set of articulation. Luke Cage a bit more traditionally Marvel Legends, a bit more something exciting and different going on with Iron Fist. It's just a shame that I've got some QC issues with the Iron Fist groin and the real super duper looseness in both of them. Super duper loose across all the joints. There's not a single one's not feeling all loose and wobbly. I mean, I'll tighten them up, but out the packet should be a bit of a better experience than that. But overall, that aside, because I'm going to assume that was just my unique experience and others will have a better experience there, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Okay, let's now take a look at the accessory selection, shall we? And first up on the accessory selection, folks, we've got a couple of head swaps for Luke and Iron Fist here. They've both got a kind of shouty "Garr" face thing going on there. Both of them very well sculpted, lovely pieces of work. Got the detail in the sculpted detail and the paint applications on the teeth, on the tongues in there. Although I will say Luke Cage's tongue looks very red. He's obviously been spending a bit of time with a red ice pop or something before he's got into it. But the sculpted detail, the features, defined, you can see on Luke Cage in particular, the brow and the kind of bunching up around the side of the eyes, that the angry look on both of them as they get into some villain beating combat is really, really good. And they're nice head swaps. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with those for sure. Then I mentioned the hand swaps, and Luke Cage has got a hand swap for this side and for this side. I'm just doing this side for now. So you can see we've got the matching four-fingered bar ring there with Luke sculpted into it, a closed fist hand for the right hand side there to match up with the left hand Cage. And then we've got a kind of grippy hand here if you want to kit him out with something from the bits box for the left-hand side. This is slightly different as well. It has an up and down hinge rather than a forward and back hinge. You can see there, like so. That's it for Luke Cage, but over onto Iron Fist, he's got hand swaps for days. We've got a closed fist for the left-hand side, a claw, then like a little kind of kung fu open palm punch thing, all for the left hand, and then we've got the same matching kung fu palm thump on the right hand side, the claw on the right hand side, and then the open palm slap bitch slap hand as well. So you could just chop and change his hands around, to suit your needs for days. I've been using the closed fist ones on both hands quite frequently, actually, but a wide range of choice there for all sorts of different types of poses you want to get your Iron Fist into. And then for Iron Fist, we've got the two flaming hand effects for his Iron Fists. I'm not sure why they gave us two. I could be wrong, but the comic book lore that I seem to recall back in the days when I used to read Iron Fist comics was that just one of his hands was the Iron Fist, and he only powered up one hand, but maybe there's been some stuff go on, I don't know. But yeah, these we've seen these before in Marvel Legends. They've got the kind of the fist-shaped gap on the inside there, so you can then just pop the fist inside and then have this kind of translucent flaming fist effect. The colours are good, it looks nice, looks decent, not too bad. They're not fantastic fits on his fist though. They're a bit of a fiddle if you want to get them into a very particular kind of position and pose, but they add to the storytelling, and obviously they're related to his power set, so a nice addition nonetheless. So it's a thumbs up for me on the accessory selection. A rare example of generosity by the Marvel Legends team over at Hasbro there. You don't often get this wider selection. Hand swaps are always good. Head swaps are always good. I'm always a big fan of those to help me tell different types of stories and set my characters up in different displays. So I'm happy with the selection of stuff that they've given us. I can't really think of anything else you might chuck in. The only thing, if anything, I could think of was maybe to give Luke Cage a chain. They gave the classic look Power Man one, didn't they, around his waist, but maybe one he could have held in his hands and used as an offensive weapon. But otherwise, all good on this front. Very happy with the accessory selection indeed. Okay, folks, quick figure comparison time. Here are the lads with a Captain America. Here they are with a Black Widow. This is the recent one on the new book. Kind of similar to the Articulation on Iron Fist now that I think about it. Here are the lads with an Iron Man. I forget which Iron Man this one is, but is this the retro cardback one? I don't remember. Let me know in the comments down below which Iron Man I actually own. And here they are with Wolverine. This is the VHS animated Wolverine, the only other new Avenger I own at present, at least until my Warbird pre-order arrives in the coming week or so. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, Wolverine. Snick. Bub. Okay, folks, well, here are Luke Cage and Iron Fist making their way around on the turntables. You can have a final 360 look at the figures. Not the most inspired of poses, I know, but I'm a traditionalist. I like just a good, ready for action, you know, traditional hero pose, and that's kind of what I've done with this pair to finish up with my playtime over the last couple of days. And final thoughts time. Yeah, this is a good set. This is a solid Marvel Legends set. It's been a lot of fun. I've had all sorts of varied man-child playtime giggles with this pair over the last couple of days. Lots and lots of posing opportunity, lots and lots of storytelling opportunity. They look good in display. I really like Luke Cage, actually. I like when Marvel Legends figures have got that texture detail like he has there. That adds so much more to the Marvel Legends experience for me, and it's a great example of, you know, just a few little touches to bring it more to life. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with the set. It is a bit of a slippery slope I'm on. I did originally say that outside of X-Men, I was just going to get some kind of key core Avengers characters. So I picked up a Captain America and an Iron Man and a Hulk and a Hawkeye and a Black Widow. And then I strayed out a little bit further, and now I'm straying out a bit further again. So not only am I getting your core Avengers team, I mean, basically, I'm going to have to get myself Wonder Man now and Scarlet Witch and the new Quicksilver. And and with this pair, I'm going to need a Daredevil and the Punisher, the new Punisher. It's a slippery slope. What have I done to myself? But in any case, I love these characters. Iron Fist in particular. I read a lot of Iron Fist back in the day, sort of solo series stuff. So very pleased to have him in the collection. It's a good set. It's fun. What more do you want? I had a lot of fun. I played with them a lot, and they've been great desk figures to have hanging around on my desk and just playing around with. So there you go. High praise indeed. All right, folks. Well, I hope you found that useful. If you did, then please do hit the thumbs up button. Obviously, if you're thinking about picking up this set for yourself, I hope all my thoughts and comments today have helped you make your mind up whether it is the set for you, whether it's worthy of your money. Otherwise, all that remains to say is have a great day, have a great rest of the week, and I hope I'll see you around these parts again for another video sometime soon. All right, well, take it easy, folks. Ta-da now.